Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever Ember wanders near.
So let's do this one first. Rev put this out. It's titled Square Enix Localization Wants to Erase Japanese Culture. I'm sure this is going to go over extremely well. So let's take a look at this.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about some more localizer-related drama, focusing on a Square Enix localization director who is not only proudly censoring phrases like Merry Christmas, but also proudly exclaiming that they're erasing Japanese culture in order to make these localizations more acceptable. It's all about pushing agendas, ladies and gentlemen, and
Are you
individuals
fucking
like
kidding me?
Neil here.
Okay, look at this man's face. Look at this man's face. Is it any surprise that he's an SJR? You can tell just by looking at him. This is a pure SJR that is all about the DEI and thinks everybody should bow to his whims of, you know, I'm a special snowflake, you have to respect my pronouns.
Here are doing their best to be the arbiter of what is acceptable in these localizations, and it's absolutely
Pukanani, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you very much. You know, he's a bottom. He's a catcher. He's definitely a catcher.
disgusting. The vandalization of Japanese media continues, and
Pukanani.
unfortunately, Square Enix is the subject of this, and they are catering to this. Now, Square Enix is definitely a company that is definitely affected
Oh
by
my
wokeness.
God.
Okay, they are constantly doing all the virtue signaling, doing pride posts like this. In fact, on their website, they have an entire page dedicated to.
Okay, I have a question. This is the Square Enix American division, not the Japanese division, I'm guessing. This is Square Enix US. I'm going to guess. I cannot imagine that the Japanese the Japanese headquarters would be doing this.
Celebrating all of their LGBT members of their related staff, and also
that was
there was a
2024.
recent controversy last year where apparently translating something like Final Fantasy is too hard for the localizers over at Square Enix.
Then
now, someone who
don't.
definitely agrees with this sentiment is Neil here, the localization director for them, and he has been popping off, especially when it comes to.
Did you guys notice the pick me in his bio? Anybody notice the little pick me in there? What's the last line in his bio? Yeah, battling cancer, which I feel bad for anybody battling cancer. Cancer is horrible. I absolutely hate the fact that anybody could get cancer. Well, you have my sympathies, but you're as a localization director, you're going to have that in your bio as a bookend, that battling cancer. That's a pick me. I'm sorry, that is a pick me right there.
When it comes to a very well-known set of controversy involving the Uma Musume localization, where of course you can see some of the translations here on the screen, where Merry Christmas is something they are heavily censoring. And in this original audio, right, not even the dub, you can hear them say in English, Merry Christmas, but the subtitles say Happy Holidays. And that was a controversy last year, but of course, someone like Neil definitely agrees with this, but there was some recent noise.
And yeah, by the way, what Red was saying is true. Like, when in the Japanese language, they say Christmas. Like, my apologies, I'm probably going to butcher, I'm going to butcher the accent, but in any Japanese anime that has not been dubbed, when it's Christmas, you literally, in their native Japanese, literally say, Merry Christmas. Like, you can literally hear them enunciating Merry Christmas. They actually say it. It's insane that they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna say Happy Holidays when you literally hear them in their native Japanese say Christmas. It's like, what are we doing?
Someone like Neil definitely agrees with this, but there was some recent noise involving this post right here from Side Games, talking about a game developer conference in Japan featuring a lecture on Umazume and the localization, complete with an English version of the slides. Now you can see some of the comments from people like Madam Savvy saying, localizers should be fired and blacklisted from all creative related positions. No one wants this, and you can see the slide that they are referring to.
Wait, okay, hang on, let's see what that slide is. Unlike otaku culture, Geru culture is not very well known outside of Japan. Wanna fucking bet? Because of, oh my god, we found a parallel culture whose expressions could convey Daidaku Helios' fun, chaotic personality, Gen Z. Motherfucker. Geru culture is very well known outside of Japan because of fucking anime, you twat. Because of anime, people in the West know about Geru culture. Like, not even like My Dress Up Darling. My Dress Up Darling is just the latest one that was like helping to spread knowledge of Geru culture. There have been multiple animes throughout the last 15 fucking years where they bring up, there's a whole freaking anime. There's literally an entire anime called My Girlfriend is a Gal, which is a Geru. Okay, gal is another way to calling a girl a gal is another way of like calling her a Geru. There was literally an entire anime series about that. And it's known in the Western world because of anime, you cock-gobbling thunder cunt. Like, what the fuck are we doing? That, like, this is deliberate subversion. This is fucking DEI bridge. That's what this is. This is DEI bridge right now, where we are going to destroy other cultures to inject the culture we want people to acknowledge. Oh my god, it's flat out sabotage. Honestly, like Japanese anime companies need to tell these people to fuck right off. They really do. Yes, I know My Girlfriend is a Gal is a Geru anime. That's what I just said. I literally just said that. Like like fans need to start vocally telling these Japanese game, manga, and anime companies that they need to tell their localizers to fuck right off. And not only that, like people that are fluent in Japanese need to basically start calling out to these companies and saying, listen, I am fluent, I can translate, and I want to translate your games, your anime, your manga, so they accurately depict what you are presenting. Like, get actual fans in there. Get people that actually care about the source material in there to do your localization, that will respect the artists that put the artists, the creative teams, the writers that put these together. Japan needs to start doing this. Yes, get the fucking weebs. There are literally millions of weebs in the West that would happily do this job. Like, you need to start, Kate, you need to start, like, not catering to, but you need to start reaching out to the weebs. You will, like Japanese companies, you need to start doing this.
Referring to, here's another reply saying the localization is terrible. Words like Christmas are censored. Some romantic implications towards trainer are censored. Many characters speak in cringeworthy westernized ways that could...
If they want accurate translations, they would be hired. And if that's the case, if these companies are fine with localizers bastardizing their language and their culture, then stop buying the products. It's a tall order. I realize this probably won't happen. But that's like, we need to start making these companies feel the pain with the wallet. This is just like every other thing that I've talked about where it's like you vote with your wallet. Because if these companies are legitimately hiring these localizers, knowing that they're going to fuck up the translations and fuck up the culture and they're not doing anything about it and they're fine with it, then you vote with your wallet. You pay for the companies that actually want to have localizers respect the translation, respect the culture. Actually use your wallet and buy their products. And these products, which I know it's Musume, that's a fucking juggernaut in this space, but don't spend any money on it. Don't purchase any Musume products. It's gonna hurt because it's such a monster property. But put your money towards people that put your money towards companies and localizers that actually respect the original source material. That's how you will facilitate a change. Again, me talking about this online, no. Me talking about this online is not going to make a difference. Rev talking about it's not going to make a difference. Some crying about it on Twitter is not going to make a difference. What makes a difference is always the same thing. Money. When you affect their bottom line, that's when they sit up and pay attention every single time. So these Japanese companies that are happy to hire localizers that fuck up the source material to DEI the fuck out of it or bridge the fuck out of it, don't give them money. When they stop making money, they'll go, gee, maybe we should actually cater to our paying customers instead of the reading SJRs online that don't even buy our products in the first place. They don't hire the localizers? Well, then the companies need to fire whomever is hiring the localizers. Again, if the Japanese companies can do something, they need to do something. They need to actually do something. So if they're not hiring the localizers and some other company's hiring the localizers, then the Japanese company needs to fire that company hiring the localizers and find one that actually will hire localizers that respects their property. These Japanese companies can't do something. And if you want to make them sit up and pay attention and start doing the right thing, if they're not doing the right thing, then you hit them in the wallet. It's all under Sony America for 99% anime products coming to the West. Cool. Stop buying Sony products. Stop buying their shit. Don't spend money on Sony. Hit them in the wallet. Now, is it going to happen? No. I'm realistic. I know no one's going to listen to a stupid redhead anime girl online. I know nobody's going to listen to Rev if Rev were to say that. I'm cognizant and aware of that. But I have to say it. I have to at least say it, you know? And 11, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders.
Only amuse the most brain rotten of Redditors. Fire every last one of these hacks. Here's another one saying these are the people who you hired to do your translations. They have zero respect for your work and will vandalize it because it's funny to them. And you can see an entire catalog of various tweets and posts made by localizers who are not only celebrating that they are vandalizing the localization.
I can't read all of it. The only thing I can't, like, it's all so small. But I see at the bottom, the true joy of localizing is really seeing what you can get away with. Yeah, these people don't care about the Japanese culture. They don't care about the fact that the Japanese culture is why they have a job in the first place. Because people want the Japanese culture. Stop buying the products. Stop spending your money on them. Do not give them money. That is the only way they will change. Money is the only thing that these companies listen to. That's it. If you think that they listen to public pressure, no. Money. Money talks and bullshit walks. That's the saying, and it's true.
Of Japanese media, but also saying that's their goal. Like, they're going mask off, saying they want to vandalize this set of media, and they think that they know better than the original Japanese creators. And of course, one of the people who definitely agrees with all of this is Neil here, who was quoting the previous post saying, so I saw the hullabaloo about this, and frankly, there's nothing offensive here. It's obviously geared towards an audience with little prior knowledge about localization, and some of the stylistic choices are not ones I would make myself, but the internet outrage is unwarranted. You know what's unwarranted?
Cool.
Changing something like Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays, even when in the original Japanese dialogue, they say in English, Merry Christmas, but somehow in the subtitles, they change it to Happy Holidays. That is unwarranted, but of course, these vandalizers, these thieves of Japanese culture have no...
Oh, I wouldn't call them thieves of Japanese culture. I would call them destroyers of Japanese culture. Because the fact that they're changing the Japanese culture to an SJR version of Western culture, that's literally destroying it. They're not stealing it and claiming it as their own. They're outright destroying it and changing it to fit their narrative. So I would actually disagree with that adjective and call it destroyers of Japanese culture.
Problem with what's happening with this dub, and of course, they also do an appeal to triviality, saying, oh, it's not a big deal, oh, it's not a big deal. Well, if it's not a big deal, then why did you change it in the first place?
It is a big deal because when you let them get away with the small stuff, then it's the frog in the boiling pot. It's the frog in the pot. You let them get away with the little stuff and say, oh, it doesn't matter. Then they slowly start going bigger. Oh, but it doesn't matter. And then they start going a little bit bigger. Oh, but it doesn't matter. And then they start going bigger. Oh, but it doesn't matter. And every incremental increase is, oh, this is nothing. It doesn't matter until they've basically taken over everything. And by the time you're like, wait, this does matter, it's too late. It's already taken over. That's how these people work. That's why you cannot give them any wiggle room. You have to stop them in their tracks from the beginning. We are into a position where, and I hate to say this, we are into a position where it is a zero-sum game. You give them nothing and you take from them everything. That's the only way this works. Because if you give them anything, they will take more and more and more until they have taken all. That's how, again, what have I always said about the SJRs? What is the one truth about SJRs that I've always said? They are the beast that cannot be fed. Okay? They will never be satisfied. You will never satisfy these people. They will take everything and they will still want more. So you stop them at the very beginning. You put the wall in place and you draw a line in the sand filled with things that I can't say because I might get, nuked. And you say, you're not getting anything. You get nothing, and I don't give a fuck if you're not happy about it. Fuckity bye. That's what you need to do. Every single time.
If it wasn't a big deal to say Merry Christmas, why did you change it to Happy Holidays? It literally makes no sense whatsoever. But of course, people are pointing this out, saying, honestly, I think what pisses people off is that the romance between Uma and the trainer was toned down to something that could be confused with strong friendship, which I can only interpret as the localizers having a stroke of self-righteousness. And Neil says, I've never played the game.
Because of course.
Understand this, ladies and gentlemen.
Should be allowed. If you're going to be a localization director in a game, it should be required that you play the game. The fact that he's never played the game, fucking bye, you're fired. Why would you allow someone Okay, this goes into the same thing of where I talked about like sponsors, where I said like when Dragon's Tea said we'd be happy to sponsor you, and I was like I appreciate it, and I was like no, sorry, let me rephrase. Dragon's Tea did not actually reach out to me, but people have suggested if I reached out to Dragon's Tea about a sponsorship, they would be happy to have me, and I said no, I'm not going to do that because I am not a tea drinker. And I fully believe that if I'm going to be sponsored by anybody, I want to actually use the product and like the product of the company that would be being sponsored by me. That's why I have tried to reach out to GamerSupps because I drink. Oh, Dragon Seed commented saying that, yeah, that's true. They did a while ago. That's true. I didn't respond to that. I don't think. But like that's why I've reached out to GamerSupps because I drink GamerSupps every stream. I have a cup of GamerSupps beside me that I'm drinking every stream. I like GamerSupps. I think it's very tasty, and I recommend it to people. That's why it's so, if I'm going to be sponsored by, that's why I've tried to reach out to them, because if I'm going to be sponsored by anything, I want to be able to have used their product, to like their product, so I can legitimately tell people, hey, this is a good product. I use it myself every day, all the time, and it's good. If I will not accept, like, I don't do sponsors. I really don't do sponsors anyway, other than like, I'm trying to connect with GamerSupps, but I don't do sponsors. I usually don't do like look for sponsors. I don't look for sponsors otherwise because I like to keep control of my own stream. But it's like, if I'm going to be sponsored by anybody, I would only do it if I use their product and I like it. The fact that he has not even played the game, fuckity bye. You should get out. You should not be involved as a localization director if you've never played the game. Because then how are you, as the director, going to have any kind of proper context of how to facilitate the localization if you've never played the fucking game? Like, that is essential for you to understand the context of what you're localizing, for fuck's sake. This is absolute basic shit right here.
The people who are absolutely vandalizing your media and vandalizing anything coming out of Japan not only thumb their nose at you and the creators thinking they know better and
he doesn't work on Uma? Are we sure? Are we sure he doesn't work on Uma? He was commenting on the situation. Okay. All right. He works at Square Enix. Yeah, but who makes the Uma? Wait, who makes the Uma game? I thought Square Enix made the Uma game. Am I? Oh, Cygames makes. Okay. I thought Square Enix made Uma for some reason. Okay, my bad. I don't know why the hell I thought Square Enix made that. I guess because it's so incredibly popular, I thought Square Enix made it. Maybe that's why. Okay.
What's actually acceptable or not, but they don't even consume the products that they're corrupting. Evil cannot create, it can only corrupt and destroy, and Neil is a great example of that. But of course, he would add on some more comments saying, I also find the arguments about Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays to be a very weird hill to die on. So
no, it's not. Again, you let them take the small things, they keep getting bigger and bigger. It's not at all weird. It's a necessity in this day and age. Like saying, the arguments, like, this is such a weird hill to die on. Really, why? Why? Wait, okay, Neil, how about this? Let's take something that is important to you. Okay? We're going to take something that's important to you. Whatever that might be, I don't know. But sex is good. Fuck if I know. And we're going to take that, and we're going to change it. And say, this is not this anymore. We're changing it to something complete. We're changing it to something different from then. And you don't get a say. And if you bitch about it, well, you're a horrible person. And you should be silenced. Because we think it should be changed. Okay? We think this should be changed for the betterment of people. And your opinion about that, even though it's your thing, that doesn't matter anymore. We are deciding. We are the arbiters of what we think is right. And your opinion doesn't matter. See how quickly his attitude changes when you do something like that.
So why are you dying on it? So why do you care? So why do you want to change these things? But anyways, they continue on saying, since Christmas carries such a different meaning culturally in Japan versus the West.
What? Like, okay, maybe the decorations and stuff are done differently, but Christmas is Christmas, be it in the West or in the East. It's still the same fucking holiday. Maybe the way, like Christmas is big. Christmas is as big in Japan as it is in the West. All right, the people in Japan fucking love Christmas. It is one of the favorite times of year. So it does not have a different meaning culturally. Maybe they exhibit their decorations differently, perhaps. But it's still Christmas. It is universal in the West and the East. They both celebrate it. Maybe they put up different decorations, but it's celebrated the same, and it's still important in the same way. So fuck right off with that, you cock-gobbling thunder cunt.
Does it? Because I think saying Merry Christmas means Merry Christmas and saying Happy Holidays means Happy Holidays. Why are you changing that? But Neil wasn't done. He added another tweet saying, I saw a couple comments about the Umezume localization expressing Gyaru culture as Gen Z speak in Kansei dialect as Southern American English, putting aside these specific choices. How would you prefer those things without a one-to-one equivalent to be expressed?
People don't want a one-to-one equivalent. They want the Garu culture. That's literally what fans want. Fans want the Garu culture. They don't want it to be like, oh, it's compared to this. No, Garu culture is its own thing, and that's why people love it. Like, this is the thing that he's not getting, is fans love the uniqueness of Japanese culture. That is what made it so popular. The fact that it doesn't compare one-to-one with a Western style of culture. The fact that it is unique in and of itself is why people love it. This is not a hard concept to figure out.
And, unfortunately, they dismiss any sort of criticism as, the minority opinion, but also this person is clearly not open to feedback. Okay, they are pushing their agenda.
Okay, hang up. Sorry, I have to address this. I want Japan not woke, Western sanitized Japan. Here's the interesting thing. Garu culture is influenced by Western culture. It is. But it's got its own Japanese-inspired twist on it. The whole concept of the Garu culture with, like, the blonde hair, the makeup, you see it in anime, Garu are usually tanned. They dress like, they dress, like kind of Valley Girl, but it's their own thing. Garu culture was inspired by Western culture. It was, but it is its own thing. It's basically, it's like inspired by like the California, California girls basically. It's inspired by California girls, but it's their own thing. So they took like the bare bones concept of the Valley Girl, the California girl, and they implemented it into their own little subculture within Japan. But it is still uniquely Japanese in that respect. And that's why people love it.
They're shameless about it, but also, I'm telling you guys, listen to me. Bookmark this, screenshot it, do whatever you want. But Gyaru culture, and I know that sounds like a dog with a mouthful of peanut butter coming out of me. It sounds terrible, but this is going to be the next thing to be appropriated. I'm telling you. Ladies and
Yep.
gentlemen, we've seen
Yep.
a phenomenon on social media where e-girls are appropriating goth culture.
Oh, yeah.
Whole nother topic for another day, but this one's next. Okay, I am telling you. Okay, listen to me. But anyways, this situation is absolutely abysmal, and it shows the lengths these localizers will go to vandalize Japanese media, and they do it so proudly and shamelessly, and they'll tell you about it on social media and expect you to continue supporting the IPs they work with. Terrible stuff. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing, and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams every week live here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. This is what DEI and Bridge is going to do. They are going to, they are going to destroy everything that people like for the sake of virtue signaling. And again, you need to drop a wall in front of them as soon as they start. This is a zero-sum game. You cannot allow them even an inch. Like, once upon a time, the whole concept, well, it's no big deal, it's just a tiny little thing. Maybe like 30 years ago, that might have been okay. Now, we are in the midst of a culture war. Make no mistake. This is a culture war, and we need to put a fucking tungsten wall right in their path before they can even get started. You can give them nothing and take everything. Leonidas had it right. Give them nothing, but take from them everything.
Ember burns